Okay, final presentation before we go into the to the panel is from my dear colleague Shravan Chunduri, our head of technologies, who will give a brief overview of what to expect in our upcoming Backsheet and encapsulation market survey. Shravan, floor is yours.
Thank you, Michael. I'm just trying to share the screen. Okay, so hello everyone. Thank you for the introduction, Michael. You know, today I'll be. I think we are running out of time, so I think I will really quickly go through, read through my presentation. I will talk about the most important, are actually two important materials from the module bill of material, that is encapsulation and backsheet. Actually, I'll summarize what we have learned during our market survey on backsheets and encapsulation material, which we'll be launching very soon. So before going into the presentation, I would like to quickly introduce our two companies and two platforms. So TaiyangNews is an open platform, as you all know. So we publish reports and market surveys about important technologies and process consumables. And the key differentiation with TaiyangNews is it is an open platform. That means all the publications can be accessed for free, but we also do consulting services, of course, at a cost, where we really go much more into the details of any selected topics. You know, my today's presentation is actually a summary of the preliminary results of our market survey on backsheets and encapsulations 2021. The survey essentially summarizes the important developments associated with these two polymer wraps, which is you know, encapsulation and backsheets. And our survey also includes a detailed specs in tables. Like all of our publications related to TaiyangNews platform, this report will also be available for free on report section of our website to download, and the report will be available very soon. You know, I would like to skip this introduction, as everyone knows. So these are very two important backsheets and encapsulations are the two important module process consumables. So since they both have the same functionality and their polymers at the end, so we try to make a combined backsheets and encapsulation survey till 2019. But before that, we already published 2 editions of backsheet survey. And coming to the current survey, we can say that, you know, we really covered most of the important leading suppliers of these two segments. But however, you know, if there are someone that are out there who would like to take part but have missed the opportunity, please get in touch with us, so we will notify you next time. And coming to the current survey, we have 12 companies that have responded. And you know, as I mentioned, there are few companies that are doing both backsheets and encapsulation, such as Hanzo First and Cybrid. Then Borealis, SWEC, and HiUV are exclusive encapsulation suppliers. Then backsheet suppliers are Ferron, Lucky Film, Coveme, Jollywood, Endurance, formerly known as DSM. The important change over the last year is ZTT, which was still supplying backsheet, was listed as a backsheet supplier in our previous survey. Now they have exited, so but they wanted exclusively remain as a PVDF component supplier. And Indian company Shingi Urja has rejoined our survey. So in addition to these backsheet and encapsulation suppliers, our survey also includes the input from the component suppliers, some like Borealis, DuPont and DuPont Teijin Film, Fumotech, and of course ZTT. But this time we have another important player in the segment, which is Dow. So they are the component supplier for the encapsulation material. So they have also provided input for this current survey. And our survey is really divided into 4 segments. I mean, Backsheet segment is divided into 2 segments. One is the fluoro and non-fluoropolymers, and then encapsulation is divided into EVA and non-EVA. So our current survey actually lists about 12 companies and 89 products. Here, I would like to summarize the evolution of the Backsheet configurations. So the early Backsheet was a 3-layer structure, which is still the case. The outer side is a UV protection layer. PET is mainly for the core layer, which has been a universal core layer for the electrical insulation. So the Backsheet has taken different evolution steps, changing the inner layer, then also the different forms of outer layer, as you can see from this schematic. And you know, a lot of changes have been happening in this Backsheet configuration changes, and one of the most important one is now there is a monolayer configurations that are coming with all co-extruded Backsheets. So as far as the encapsulation materials, it's pretty straightforward. So EVA was always well known as the encapsulation material for more than 3 decades, but addressing few of the shortcomings EVA had in glass configuration. Polyolefins have emerged. So initially they were applied on the both sides, but then due to the cost structure, they were really applied on the rear side for the bifacial modules. And it was always the single layer for the encapsulation, but recently, not recently, but 2 years ago, encapsulation material suppliers have also started making the multi-layer encapsulation. So one such example is co-extruded EVA polyolefin EVA, also known as EPA structure, is one such example. So here I will just like to give you a quick update on Backsheet market. So as everyone knows, Chinese market has always been insisting for fluoropolymers. So there is no surprise that fluoropolymers are ruling the market. So PVDF has been very predominant choice as the outer layer for the most of the Backsheets. But then there are also CPC configurations which are still allows to be on the fluoropolymer side, but they can reduce the cost. And Tedlar, one of the oldest fluoropolymer, and this has been used in very early configurations, but because there are 2 companies that are strictly following Tedlar based Backsheets, and these companies are really expanding their capacities. So that's why Tedlar is also gaining its market share. And PET is mainly used in non-Chinese countries, for example, in Europe and Japan, as mentioned in the earlier presentations. But what you can also see is that glass is emerging as a new competitor for the Backsheets. And as far as the encapsulation, again, it's also very straightforward here. EVA has been the most predominant encapsulant. So this is called clear EVA, but then there is a power gain with the white EVA. So white EVA has started gaining some traction. So one side, its share is though looks less because it's only used on the one side, on the rear side, because on the front side you still have to use the transparent EVA. So and white EVA share is around 20%, and with the bifacial technology is really getting wide and wide. So PVOE is getting more and more accepted, and it's more used. So PVOE has a percentage of 15%, and as I mentioned earlier, co-extruded EVA, co-extruded structure like EPE structure is also gaining market shares. As far as the most important trends in the backsheet, I think price is really one very important trend. As you can see here, compared to last year, nearly all backsheet configurations price have increased. So this is mainly due to the price increase of the PVDF, which has close to double. But in general, market in general, all the materials prices have also increased. So for example, the PET price has also increased between 10 to 20%. And because of this, the configurations such as CPC and PET based backsheets are gaining some kind of increased attention in this time of high price PVDF, and the co-extruded backsheets are also kind of in wide consideration. A lot of companies are evaluating co-extruded backsheets, especially out of China, and a few also in China. And another important trend what we have seen is there is also an interesting, perhaps really most important and important aspect is sustainability. So sustainability is getting kind of increased importance. DuPont Teijin, in cooperation with Covame, they have launched a product. So DuPont Teijin is working at the material level. So they have created a PET film that is suitable for different layers of the backsheet that contains the recycled content of the PET. So what they're doing is they're trying to add 1/3 of the recycled PET to the virgin polymer, and then creating these films for the backsheets. And Covame is already bringing them into the market. So they have the first product ready with the 1000-volt DC product, and they're in the process of development for the 1500 volts product. But of course, both the companies have a final goal that the end-to-end recycling should be the case. That means, the solar module, after end of its life, the backsheet goes back into this recycling process, and then it again comes into the life as a new backsheet. So I think this is really one of the most important development what we have seen. And of course, transparent backsheet, as a lot of people have already talked in previous sessions, so I will not waste a lot of time here. So transparent backsheet is really becoming very hot. But end of the last year, transparent backsheet was really getting a lot of attention because the glass prices have increased dramatically. But beginning of the year, with glass prices coming down because of the kind of oversupply situation, now the transparent backsheet is not so much in demand. That's what we learned from our research. Excuse me. And another innovation, as already indicated in the previous presentation, so grid is now also available in the different colors, and applying grid onto the backsheet is kind of really relieves the bifacial technology from the performance loss compared to the monofacial. I think this is one of the important development in the backsheet segment also. And applying this grid on the backsheet is relatively less expensive compared to the glass. And as far as the encapsulation materials is concerned, price is again here also the most important development, like around 30% of the prices have increased, 25 to 30% of the prices have also increased for the encapsulation material. But as such, nothing groundbreaking is happening with the standard transparent EVA. And as I said earlier, so white EVA is kind of increasingly gaining market shares because it can increase the power. But of course, white EVA also comes at a cost. It's approximately 20% expensive. Excuse me. And as coming to the polyolefin, polyolefin came into the limelight addressing the few shortcomings of the bifacial technology. So polymer doesn't have any acid formation. It has better control over the PID, and of course it also comes with a cost. It's around 25 to 40% more expensive, and Borealis is now aggressively promoting a thermoplastic variant of the polyolefin. So it's non-cured based, and it's also free from peroxides, and it's a most advantage of it supports the low temperature processing, and also supports the low lamination processing times. But then addressing some of the shortcomings of the single layer polyolefin, that it creates some problems with the multi-bus bar and bubbling. Co-extruded film, which is EPE film configuration, is now really increasingly preferred. So it kind of eliminates a lot of disadvantages with the single layer polyolefin. So it also increases the processing times, and it also better adhesion to the glass, and enables the making MBB modules without any dislocations of the bus bars. And then another really very new interesting technology brought by Dow. So it's a liquid silicone technology. So this silicone can be cured at room temperature, and most important advantage according to Dow is its high durability. It is estimated to last as long as 50 years. So the idea is to promote this product for building integrated PV, where the module life should be matched to the life of the concrete structure, so which is estimated to be 50 years. So I think they're in the final stages of introducing the product. You will see much more details of all these when we are publishing our survey. So here I come to the conclusion of my talk. So currently coming to the Backsheets, I think increasing of the price of PVDF is really causing a lot of concern. So some companies module makers are moving towards CPC or PET, and another alternate is also making the co-extruded backsheet structures based on PP. And as far as the encapsulation materials is concerned, EVA, there is no big change. So white EVA is increasingly gaining traction, and polyolefin, this is also the same case with polyolefin. Slowly single layer polyolefin is replaced with the multi-layered EPE structure, and thermoplastic POE, sorry, it's not POE, it's thermoplastic polyolefin is becoming kind of a good choice for heterojunction suppliers. That's what we hear. And then a new liquid silicone based encapsulation solutions for high-end markets like bi-PV applications is on its way. Thank you very much for your attention. Thanks, Michael. I'm done with my presentation.
Thanks, Shravan. That was short and precise and insightful as usual. So again, as Shravan said, we're still working on the market surveys. So if anyone has anything to share, or if we maybe missed someone, please get in touch with Shravan and his team, and we will try to include you still in this survey. But if you want to, please hurry. We also are still open for advertisers. Okay, fine.